tell me. Thank you. Oh gosh, so we're having conversations backstage.
I know. Hey, Auntie.
Hey Ash, welcome everyone to Hey Auntie and Ash.
Yes,
And happy May 31st. This is the last day of May. I cannot believe
yes,
we made it through the
it
whole
is the whole entire month.
and we focused on
But
health.
wait,
Go ahead.
wait.
Well, I'm
This is the
waiting.
Hey Auntie and Ash podcast where we bridge generations through conversation. We forgot
Snatch it
all
up,
about
girl.
that.
Snatch it up. I did. See, the youngin has to help the auntie because aunties. Yeah. So we are so thankful today to wrap up Mental Health Month,
Yes,
mental health awareness, and
yes.
so because we're wrapping it up, Ash, can you let the audience know what we're doing tonight?
Okay, so tonight we are going to be talking about mental health beyond the classroom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody already knows that I am a teacher and educator. And so I decided that this week I would bring my old college friend slash
Hold up.
associate. Oh
I
yeah, we
don't know
went to
if she's
college
gonna like.
together.
I don't know if she's gonna like being referred to as old, but okay.
When I say old, that means that we got a little history. That's it. Not
Okay.
old as in age.
As in auntie
Amen.
old. I got it.
No,
Mhm.
no. However, yes, we went to Eastern Illinois University together. Now I went off and did other things, but I definitely wanted to bring her on. She is a veteran teacher now. She teaches primary at this point, and she is moving into new endeavors.
Okay.
Candice has a educational company that services the full entire spectrum. So not just the student, but the family as well. And I am excited. I am excited to talk to Candice about education and mental health.
And so you said Candice. Can you let the audience know Candice who?
Candice Reeder. I
And
can't wait to put a doctor in front of that.
Oh my goodness.
welcome, Miss Candice Reeder.
Hi. Hello,
Hi.
ladies. Thank you for having me.
We're so
No
excited
problem.
to have you. We're very, very excited, especially to wrap up the end of Mental Health
Yes.
Awareness Month,
Yeah.
because we think of teachers, and Ashley is a teacher. You are a teacher, and you're so many other things.
Yeah.
So is Ashley, but we think about teachers and we're just focused on the teacher's mental health because they're dealing with all these little rugrats, right? And so we sometimes neglect that there is child mental health involved with the
Exactly.
rugrats. There is parental mental health. And so Candice is here. She has a wealth of knowledge surrounding all three, which is amazing. And we're excited to have this conversation. So Ash, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay. Okay. So, Candice, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, right? Because I can only tell a snippet. So, tell us about you and what you do.
Okay. Well, I am an educator. I am a reading coach. I am now going into that new endeavor that you were just speaking of as an interventionist. I am also an educational coach, which I just merged. Well, try to bridge the gap of the homeschool connections and try to get the parents to understand the school system, as well as serving educators who may need a little reboost when it comes to reboot when it comes to education, because we do have our downfall when it comes to our energy level, our in enthusiasm. Sometimes it gets taken away with the things that changes within the generations. But I'm also a dancer. I'm also a choreographer, and I'm a mom, boy mom at that. And that's pretty much in a nutshell. I don't want to pretty like toot my own horn here, but those are my job title hats.
Okay. We can't hear you. You got to come off of mute so we can
Oh,
toot.
Girl, thank you. See, Ash knows where I am. I said Candice doesn't want to toot her own horn, but we got a toot.
And toot. That's right. Exactly.
Ash knew what I was doing, even though she couldn't hear me.
Period. So let's kind of dive in. So, Candice, what inspired you to become a teacher?
ooh, being the youngest daughter there are 5 of us. My mom has 5 children, and my oldest sibling is 14 years older than myself. And she had her first child when I was in kindergarten. So, of course, I'm in my stage where I am using my imagination. I'm playing teacher. And so I always use my nieces and nephews as my students. But I would always help with their homework. Not to say that, no, I'll just keep it real. I did not really need help with homework, or maybe I felt that I didn't need the help, but there was time where they made sure that the homework was being done, right? The time was allotted for that. And I would do the same as a young girl in playing school. And I just got encouraged when I realized that I wasn't I wasn't really into science. And I knew that you had to be great in science and math for to become a gynecologist, OB-GYN. And I said, nah, if I can't deliver the babies, then I'd rather, teach the babies. So that's why I chose my undergrad degree in early childhood education. And I've loved it ever since. After that, I had to go back to school. Well, I didn't have to, but I felt the need to, because I've been working in the same school for 14 years.
Wow.
And it is a neighborhood school, and their attainment levels was never, it was always maybe 1 year or 2 years below grade level. And I didn't feel equipped enough after graduating with my undergrad. I thought it was me, but actually it's the neighborhood, and it is the lack thereof knowledge of parents, and them not understanding that it takes a village, and it's not just the 6.5 hours that we have in front of the children, because what is it, 90 minutes of reading that we teach?
Mm-hmm.
That's not enough time if your child is 2 grade levels below. There needs to be some intervening and understanding with the parents. So, but not understanding that, right after undergrad, I went back to school to get my reading degree. And just moving forward into this next degree, into educational leadership, all of it pretty much, I say this, I'm sorry. I say that because once I started taking the classes to become a teacher, we were asked, what is it that you want to do with your degree? And it has always been to own my own school. And I feel like that educational leadership and administration degree is going to basically pimp my badge, when it comes to the footwork and the networking that I need to make in order to get my school up and running. And I want it to be in not only Chicago, but Memphis. My father's side of the family is from Memphis, and I know that their education system is also going through shifts and changes and school closings and gentrification in the city. And Houston.
Okay. So the doctorate is coming.
It's funny. That's why I laughed when you said that when I was backstage. Yeah, the funny thing is, I've always thought about doing my thesis with homeschool connections or something around that. And by me being pushed into this position as the interventionist, I am definitely going to have parental involvement, meetings, workshops, things that I'm already doing with my business, but bringing that into the school building, and just showing how that having that support from the family does change the data. It will turn it around. It's not just the teacher's responsibility. So I'm pretty sure that it is coming.
Okay.
It is.
I'm a come on, Auntie. I'm gonna step back.
Okay. So you gave us a lot of information. Thank you for that. We will tap more into the educational leadership portion of this later, just to kind of see what everything that entails. But since we're talking about mental health, and we did kind of touch a little bit on the stressors that teachers can face, but can you share some insights, some backstage knowledge of the stressors that not only teachers actually deal with, but the students and the parents? Because you did say that, there has to be a partnership with the teachers and the parents. but can you really kind of hone in on what are some of your day-to-day challenges and stressors and the things that affect your mental health, and then the parents and the children?
Okay, well, starting with myself, I would say just the change in expectations.
Mm.
How do you behave in the classroom? So I'm expecting for my first graders to understand that this is a school environment. You should ask to, stand up, ask to get a hug. It's just a lot of just misunderstanding between the two parties, and it has to be not only taught at home, but it has to be taught at school. So I get stressed out on a day-to-day basis just because my students, they don't listen, if that makes a lot of sense. Like, I can tell them something and they can see me doing it,
Yes.
and I'm even talking about work here. I would show them that they're doing it wrong, and then we'll do it again. And it's like, there's no trust. You don't know what you're talking about, lady. I'm still gonna do it my way. And that's different for me. I have never experienced that in all these 14 years. This is my first year experiencing that. So that has been a stressor for me. Also having migrant students at first, in the beginning of the year, the demographic in my classroom was maybe 60-40, and now that has switched. Now it is 40-60. So I have 60%
wow.
more Latino students in my class, and I do not speak a lick.
Wow.
Well, let me give myself a little credit. I know some words, I know some terminology. I have been learning, but it's very challenging for someone who, if that's not a second language and I'm not fluent in it, and having to stop and use Google Translate and to teach 2 lessons, and also try to get that in that small group, that individualized teaching small group for those students who needs to be meet attainment. It was difficult this year for me, and so those are some stressors of mine. Just mainly behavior, but it's a little different because the kids are different now. But I will believe that my students, their stressors would be how rigorous the curriculum is. And I want to say this is different around the city because it just depends on the school that you're at. And my school is awesome. My school has a wonderful group of teachers, educators, and we do our best. We go above and beyond for our students. However, I'm just going to be honest. We can't do as much as we would like because of where we are. We're a neighborhood school. And so, for an example, my students, they are still doing paper projects, where I know students in first grade are doing PowerPoints, right? And they can turn in virtual activities. But I have a lot of students who are still in that pandemic phase where they're expecting for me to give them the answer as long as they look and
With
give me that.
that face. Yeah.
And they will refuse to. Well, in the beginning, they were refusing to give me what I was expecting from them, but I'm seeing it now. In the last days of school, I laughed at myself today because I was actually able to read a student's work phonetically, but she would just write anything.
Wow.
And I want to say yesterday she was writing anything, right? And then today I was able to look at her stuff and actually say, hey, I can read what you were trying to write. And she will be coming to summer school because I'm working summer school, and I invited her. But that can be stressful if you don't understand the school system, if you don't understand the environment of school, if you don't understand that I am here for you to mess up and for you to continue to practice, and to do that at home, which is also an issue because I have parents who will tell their children that they don't have to do the homework. And of course, their first graders,
Wow.
they're going to come back and say, well, my mama said I don't have to do the work.
Yes.
What?
So
Yes.
Wait a minute.
That's
Wait,
why I said
wait.
it's
No,
different.
that is the
It's
truth.
different.
Wait,
It's
I am
different.
a non-educator, so you got to talk to me like you're talking to someone else.
Oh, they will.
Did you just say
Oh,
parents
yes.
will tell their children that they
Yes,
don't
they
have to
will.
do homework assigned by their teacher?
Yes. And
Yes.
some of it is because they don't know how to do it.
Come on.
Where?
Come
What?
on. Well, as I was saying, it has changed. So kindergarten, we have to understand that kindergarten is not mandatory, right?
No,
in the state
not
of
in
Illinois. But kindergarten is no longer let us practice writing our names. Let's learn about the colors and the shapes, our numbers, our letters, and the sounds. Kindergartners are leaving kindergarten, going into first grade. The last lessons that they're learning are digraphs. And digraphs are two letters that make one sound, like SHCHWH. They are spelling, they should be spelling those words and reading those words. That is on grade level for a kindergartner, as well as introducing long vowel sounds with the silent E at the end. So if you opt out of kindergarten and you take your child to first grade, you are expecting your child to be doing kindergarten work that's happening now. That's what they're doing in kindergarten. So when you have homework that is rigorous, what I was saying earlier, it's just this rigor is kicking a lot of neighborhood school parents who are in the ice age when it comes to learning. It's kicking their, can I curse? It's kicking their butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all know the word. It's kicking their butt.
Yeah.
And Ash is right. They don't know how to do it.
No.
And so they get frustrated, and instead of asking, and instead of communicating with the teacher, instead of asking for grace, can I get a little time? If you're not working, I have an open door policy. You can come and pretend to volunteer, and you can be learning what the heck I'm doing in the classroom so that you can help your children. But, time is an investment, and some people rather invest their time doing other things, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I am, yeah. In addition to me not being an educator, I'm also 52 years old. So I was in school at a different time. We learned different things and had different responsibilities. And I was parented in a different way. So there was no my upbringing was different, but there was no coming home talking about you don't have to do the work assigned by a teacher, because the levels of respecting adults, the teacher for adults. If the teacher said it, you did it, right? So I am like awestruck. Like I don't even understand. I don't get it. I have another question though, because you keep alluding to, the different times and, different generations. So have you seen any effect of social media effect in your classrooms, like on the children, on their self-esteem, on how they interact with each other, social skills? Has social media affected children's overall health and the way that they engage with each other and you? And if so, how?
Ooh.
That's heavy. That is heavy. I want to answer the question.
It
Please,
is, because I know that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ash, where you at with it? Let me hear what you.
So you got to remember. So I think it also depends on what grade you teach.
True.
Right. I teach 5th grade, and so their levels of what they're allowed to do with adults not being around is very different. So they're intaking, right, a lot of things that are inappropriate, right, that are not I guess grade level friendly. And so it does come out in their interactions with adults. It comes out in their interactions with their friends. I mean, we got kids that they can't. I'm gonna tell you where it comes out. Their attention spans are horrible.
Yeah.
Like horrible. They can sit and look at a screen all day and take TikTok all night. And number one, they're not sleeping. And then when they get to the classroom, right,
Come on.
we can hardly pay attention. And every 15 minutes, we doing a dance from TikTok.
In the class, wait.
They like, no, they writing. You writing first, and then all of a sudden you see like that. And you like, I'm confused.
And that's what I had to say. That's what I was gonna say.
What?
But I didn't want to go too deep on it. But it's just they don't understand that you're not supposed to every time they get up out of their seat, it's some kind of what is that?
Oh my God. Oh, I left my pencil over here. I need to go get my paper.
They doing that.
Yes.
They doing that.
The $1 Million Baby song. Oh my God.
Song. Yep.
See,
yeah,
I'm like from the Stone Age for real.
You don't understand.
I really don't. And so I'm glad we're having this conversation. And, you know, I know it's Friday night, so people are out and it's beautiful in Chicago too. So folks are out. But when they watch the replay, I really hope people are engaging and talking about this, because most people either have children, they were a child, or they have nieces, nephews, so it affects them. But it's some of these things that we need to think about. These are future adults.
Yes.
Right. This is our future. I don't want to get old and Whitney Houston. I believe the children are the future, but it's a bleak future if this is what we have.
But I'm gonna.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say is we have to remember that it's not what I said. It's not every school, right?
Yes.
It's just, and I think that's just how it's been since we were younger. It's always been a certain area, you know, that's like, it's not with it. But when it comes to that curfew, kids looking like zombies, not knowing, refusing to remember how to log in, but they can do a TikTok. It's ridiculous. And remember when I said that I dance and I choreograph and I try to encourage the kids to, you know, dance, they would refuse to dance if it's not a TikTok song.
Oh my.
And my dancers are now being encouraged to choreograph, because I would ask them, okay, well, what should we do after this? You know, it was kind of like reverse psychology for them, because I got tired of them saying, this is not a TikTok song. And I'm thinking to myself, what does TikTok have to do with the creator? Like,
So I listen, I'm loving this conversation. I really, really am, because it's sparking a lot of questions in me that we didn't send you, so forgive us. But just in terms of, that's why I asked both of you, not just, I know you are an educator for younger children, Candice, than Ash, but when I see 4-year-olds with tablets, when I see 4-year-olds on TikTok and, you know, 5-6-year-olds doing makeup videos, and I'm just like, what is happening? I'm so confused here. But
everybody wants to be a content creator.
And go viral and not have a 9 to whatever. But here's the thing. The part that's really got me stuck a little with you saying, you know, you're a dance choreographer instructor, and they won't do dances unless they're so, because of the social media influence, removing a level of creativity, right? The ability to create your own, to be, you know, inventive, and it's like,
and having the confidence to say I can do this too. Because I would encourage, I would say, hey, we should come up with our own dance, right? So if this is a song that's viral, let's choreograph. And they're like, no, like they're scared to even put themselves out there to do that.
That's wild.
Wow.
We could hold on. The crazy part about it is, as millennials, that's all we wanted to do. Like, remember back in the day when they used to make the videos, we used to learn the video dances, and we would be like, let's turn on that song. We got to make up a dance. Like, what?
If TikTok was talking and ticking while we were at Eastern and I was on Jolie, all the choreographing that I was doing, all the choreography that was done, it would have been all on my TikTok. YouTube.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Hold on. We would have been viral. That's what would have happened. Dance teams at Easter would have been viral, because
and so that is something. I know this isn't the full conversation, but it's such an important part of the conversation, because we think about, you know, as content creators, we think about trends, right? And old folks, I be the old folk. I am so against trends, and the whole what's popular, what's popular, what's
Yeah.
popular. And I know I kick against it a lot. And sometimes you do have to lean into it. But it's like, because people are getting monetized for participating in trends, right? For being a part of the trendy atmosphere, not understanding that it's making you robotic. It's making you just fall in line with everyone else. It's removing some of your persona, some of who you are, the things that make us creative, the thing that makes us ingenious, all those things. It's removing it because you're just doing and emulating what you saw somebody else do, but you're getting paid for it. So you're not thinking about it, right?
Yeah, I call it autopilot. And just to chime in, it's not just social media, it's video games as well.
Yes.
So, that puts them in autopilot, and too much of it. They're only supposed to have no more than 2 hours,
2 hours.
a day, and to read for 20 minutes, but you don't let them read for 20 minutes and they're on a game for hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ash, please.
Okay. Because I know we get into it. But I wanted to add, I told my kids, and I'm going to get to my next question. I told my kids, I said, Monday, y'all can bring any board game you want. What about VR? No, don't bring an electronic nothing in here. Bring some board games.
I like
board games. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue. Now, we talked about mental health with children. We talked about the stressors of parents. We talked about the stressors of teachers, how they interact. But in our world, right, we know that our educational system, they want to kind of address the mental health and things that children, I guess, need, like, empathy and kindness and compassion, right? They want to address all those things through SEL, okay?
Right.
What we call social emotional learning.
Yeah.
And so my question is, number one, is SEL important to the classroom? And number two, how effective do you believe that it is?
Okay, so SEL is definitely needed in the classroom, especially for my first graders. They do not know how to really self-regulate their feelings, especially when they get frustrated. Since the pandemic, I've seen a lot of meltdowns. I've seen a lot of tantrums. I've seen a lot of. I got a little excited when I said that because I say it all the time. I see a lot of preschool behavior, and I taught preschool. I've been in the education system for 18 years, so I started in preschool, and that behavior is definitely something that I see in first grade now. I'm throwing a pencil because I'm frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little frustrated thinking about it because it happens every day. It happens every day. So it's important for us to teach them how to breathe. I actually have sound bowls in my room, just tiny ones. I refuse to bring my big sound bowls because of different energies from home and coming to my classroom. I just don't want to keep cleaning them. But they will sit down and do belly breaths. We have our social worker come in and spend some time with them once a week for about 40 minutes and teaching the lesson, singing songs. Does it work? It's in the process, right? Okay. I would say it is emerging because I have first graders. But I have noticed that once we started doing Calm Classroom and just speaking to the children, understanding their problems, everybody's being more open to the changes instead of being direct when it comes to our leadership. That the students are building a better rapport with us, building better relationships. Students have a voice, and it allows them to be open and comfortable to express themselves, whether it be happy, angry, sad. And for the most part, we are reaching children as they develop in the grade levels. But in first grade, I have to continue to um, pretty much prompt them to
Okay.
take belly breaths, or like put my hand on their shoulder and whisper, like, okay, you are having a moment here, take a few deep breaths. Do you need to stop? But I do see that. I see some progress throughout the grade levels in my building for sure. But in my class, I have to continue to redirect and remind them and prompt them to take belly breaths, understand their emotion, and to remind them that I cannot sit them on my lap and rub their
Mm-hmm.
backs. That's why I said
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of preschool behavior, because
Mhm.
that's really what they want. They want to get in, like, just be coddled and go into
Yeah.
my arms, and I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
First graders.
First
First
graders.
graders. Yeah.
That's why I did a little, I had to do a little
Yeah.
belly breaths, because I said, oh my goodness, we're live. When I
Yeah.
said, oh, let me
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
but yeah, and they don't respect the boundaries, and it's like sometimes if they are really having a moment, I just have to, like I said, it's like a toxic relationship. I'm married, I have to compromise. I have to just go ahead and rub
It's
this baby's back for 30
yeah.
seconds or
Yeah.
whatever, and just remind her, like, okay, or him or her, what, like, okay, most of the time it's a girl, but it's okay. And let's just get the day going, and I'll check on you a little later. And that's all they need. But if you're not, as a parent, if you're not teaching your child that, I don't know.
They
It
don't.
gives me
We are
because
not
I'm thinking
teaching our children how to regulate.
yeah, because I didn't
Not
want to use
even
the
just
word weakness,
that.
because it's not weakness,
N-
but like you're
No.
not supposed to. I don't know. I just
No,
can't.
we don't teach them how to regulate, and we do not teach them. We don't. First of all, when they're that young, and when I'm saying when they're 3 and 4 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
you have to help them regulate,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
As they get older, right? You try to give them the tools to
Self-regulate.
self-regulate.
Mm-hmm.
But parents don't understand, right, the
No.
transition and the
Yes.
difference. And
Yes.
even with me teaching fifth grade, a lot of my kids, they were in the pandemic in second grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, they're not really fifth graders. They're
Yep.
really third and
The
fourth
pandemic.
graders.
Yep. After the
And
pandemic.
just
Emotionally.
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
and just to give you an example, I had a girl pick up my phone and take a picture of herself with it. And she thought it was okay. And when I snapped about it and called her mom and all of that, she was just like, she tripping. The little girl felt like I was tripping, blah, blah. Now today she brought it up. She said, Miss Wicks, I remember when you was mad and you so and so. But I think now she understands, right?
Right.
But there was a level of boundaries that was not there.
Yep. The line is invisible now,
Yeah.
pretty
And
much.
and some of it is because other teachers allow certain things.
Oh
And
yeah,
then when
because they want to go
you
viral.
oh yeah. But that's
That's
just to give you
another
an
story.
example. Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely see it working,
Yeah.
And that's if they want it to work. It's kind of like, AA, if it works if you work it and if you want it. Just with the students in the classroom, you understand what you have to do, and if you work the work, do the work, ask the
Yes.
questions, be assertive, you're going to progress. But you choose not to do so, it's not going to work. And I know a lot of teachers think that taking the time to teach SEL, gets away from
Mhm.
academic time, but it's needed. It's
Yes.
needed. It's definitely needed. And I'm happy to have a calm classroom. Where do you know what calm classroom is? It's like a curriculum, and it has like probably a lot of videos for
Mm.
maybe 5 minutes, and they're calm videos, meditation, something that
Mm.
you can look on YouTube, but it's actually a curriculum with videos of maybe the ocean, mountains,
Mhm.
snow, animals, cows eating grass, but they're asking them to take deep breaths and breathe, maybe saying some affirmations. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Drawing while you hear music. like just doodling. It's pretty awesome. I like it. Now I didn't do it every day, and it's supposed to be every day. So I'm glad I don't have my my school my school apparel on. But yeah, because sometimes you just don't have the time to do classroom, but still SEL is being taught daily.
Yeah. I don't see Auntie. What is happening? I don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
so do you guys see all of us, or do you just see me? I
We
don't know.
see
no,
everybody
we see
now,
everybody
but at
now.
first we were like, "Where is she?"
And I only see me, so I'm not sure what is happening right now. But okay, so we will keep going. Yeah. Can you guys hear
So
me?
we
Okay.
talked about SEL, right?
Mhm.
So the social emotional learning, and you said that you do feel like it's working.
I do.
Okay. Is
I think
there
it would work better if parents knew what it was and understood what it was.
yes.
It always goes back into that homeschool connection. We can't just be doing things, at in the school building and then at home it's something completely different. So if we're telling people to take breaths, take belly breaths when they're crying and they're upset, and then at home you hearing, I told you to shut up, be quiet,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, okay. So you talked about the homeschool connection. I only see you. You talked about the
yes, ma'am.
homeschool connection. And so let's talk a little bit more about that, right? We talked
Okay.
about some mental health stuff, some FEL things. And so when we talk about the homeschool connection, right? What are all of the things that you're providing, right, with educational coaching services to, right, those parents, right, connecting them, because if I'm correct, it's connecting the school experience to the home experience, right?
Right. So, my business does two things. It either for families, it either curates a private coaching experience where it's just you and I, or your family and myself, and you tell me what is your problem or what it is that you're seeking for your child, or just struggles, and we figure
Mm-hmm.
that out during that on-call conversation. And then we have workshops, right, where it is in a group setting. And so, like, I have a partial workshop coming up, but I teach about, I talk about in those workshops the building a strong educational foundation, understanding the educational school system, how to communicate, effective communication, social and emotional well-being of the student and the parent. Um, what else? Supporting learning styles and understanding learning styles, IEPs. It's just curated, based off of whatever is needed. So the homeschool connections and my workshops, as well as curated coaching, will allow parents to, I want it so that they won't have to always be a client. It's just like kind of a merger, so that they would know that they are welcome in the school building, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of parents just feel like all they have to do is drop their child off and pick up the report card. I feel like once you meet your teacher on report card pickup, that's too late. That first report card pickup is, in my opinion, is just way too late. There should already be a rapport with that teacher. You should know exactly where your child is. You should know their data, their beginning of the year data from beginning of the year assessment. There should be a plan between the two of you, goal setting between the parent and the educator. So I come in as a merger, helping where it's needed, because most of the time we have parents who just don't know where to start and don't know. I mean, when they would go to the school, but when they talk to administrators, sometimes it's not going down the pipeline to the teacher, or it's getting lost in an email, because emails are we get emails every second. Let's just be honest here. So if you get an email from a parent, sometimes it does get lost. I've lost emails from parents, especially last year. It was crazy last year. So that's just a side note there. But um that is exactly what I do. I am more like a merger in teaching what we as educators assume parents know, if that makes sense. And helping educators understand that, not educators, but parents, helping them understand that there are some things that they need to prep for their child as their child is, as their child go through their educational journey.
Got it. Okay, I still can't see the two of you, so I'm just looking at my phone here, but it's fine. I'm looking
We
at my
can
phone.
see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So, and forgive me if I've missed part of this conversation because I was offline for a bit, but given the unprecedented situation that we had globally with, you know, the pandemic, what kind of tips or tools can you give to parents, you know, who have children who, yeah, they were affected by the pandemic. They were affected by homeschooling. They were affected in their social, emotional capacity, right? And so, what can the parents do now, in addition to, you know, your own parents coming in to talk to you and setting the goals for their children? But if you're not parenting, if you're not teaching their child, what kind of tips can you give a parent to help their students, their children?
Well, first thing that I would do is just let the parent know that all children learn at their own pace. So it's
Yes.
not a competition, you know, and some things affect children different. Some children soared during the pandemic and others, you know, did not. They lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to remind them that, and then, you know, explain once again that there are different learning styles. So we need to get to the educator. We need to get with the educator. We need to have a meeting. We need to have a conference after the testing is done. Even if you have your child's data from the end of the year, that pretty much correlates with the beginning of the year data. So if you want to start before the testing, although sometimes, most of the time, testing begins a week or two after the first day of school, they can start now. So actually, I'm going to piggyback. If we're going to do something today, because I literally just did a video about this, look at their data. The data is coming out. If it's not already in the possession of the parent, it will be in the possession of the parent on the last day of school. And they need to have a meeting with the teacher. Even if it's the end of the year, they need to find a teacher that is teaching in that grade level, right, over the summer in the building. Or they need to ask the administrators, you know, like, hey, what is it that I can do to support? So I now am an administrator, so I will be somebody that my students or my parents will be able to contact. And we'll look at the data. I will tell them what areas their child is weak in. So let's go over the iReady assessment that I did on my video. That the student was, there are 6 components or 6 domains, and the student was in yellow, which is 1 grade level below, in 5 of those areas. And he was early first grade in 1. So I would break that down into the domains and see which domain was his weakest and which domain was the one that was next to him meeting attainment, right? So I will work on those 2 instead of all 5, because you don't want to frustrate the parent, well, the student, and we also don't want to frustrate the parent. And there are many applications that will still be working until maybe, because so let's just say IXL, right? We use IXL in our school building, but the contract, sometimes they pay for the contract in January. So the contract is good for a year. So the students can still use those programs throughout the summer. So I will, encourage them to be on grade level that their child is on. So I will tell that parent of that student with those 5 domains that are one grade level below. Let's just say his lowest was vocabulary. So I would focus on vocabulary on a kindergarten level, asking the parent to make sure that that student reaches 70%. So that means that as I give this iPad to my child, you will have to monitor your child to make sure that they hit that 70% mark. If you're not doing that, then this is just a waste of our time, and they're just on an iPad doing something that looks like they're, working or getting intervention. So it has to be monitored. And once that is met in that grade level, kindergarten, then move on into the first grade level. So that means that that first grade student is going into second grade. So we're just going to scaffold into the vocabulary from where the student is. So we want to start where that student is and then build up. I will also encourage the parent to go to a teacher store and get an enrichment book for second grade to work on maybe like the weekend, but also get the grade level work where that child is. So that is like the bulk of the work, but you still want to kind of introduce where they will be going into the next grade level. Off the top of my head, that's where I'm at with giving advice of or tips when it comes to if they needed help. And I think that was a good one because I literally just did a video on that earlier this week. And we're going right into the summer, and it's needed. A lot of students lose learning over the summer. So they need to really just get that data from the end of the year, and no one's on break. Like no one's on break. Summer vacation is a vacation from school. However, the learning does not break. Learning should never break. And that's another issue that everybody just stop. It comes to a halt.
Yes.
And it shouldn't. And then it picks back up in the beginning of the school year. And it's like, oh, let's look at the data. And sometimes the data is lower than where they were at the end of the school year because of the loss.
Yes.
But that's the reason why I said they need to start now to prepare for the next school year.
Yeah.
I love that. You're basically reiterating the need for continuous learning. Like they should be learning something, enhancing something every day, even if they are technically on break.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Especially if you know that your child is not on grade level.
That part, friend.
Agreed.
And if you don't know that your child is not on grade level, then that's another problem.
So that's what
Go on, Ash. But I really want to talk about the lack of parenting without coming from a judgmental perspective, but let's just be real. Society has changed, right? And it's social media. There are a lot of factors that have contributed to why we've changed. And, oh God, please don't let me get in trouble. Gentle parenting, the whole concept of almost, okay, I'm not going to bite my tongue here. That's not a good look for me. So, of course, my generation, I'm 52. My mother was young when she had me. So if she were alive today, she would be 68 because she was only 16 years older. But she came from the old school, right? So you might have gotten hit with something if you looked a certain way. I am not advocating for a world like that, right? I'm not advocating for abuse. However, I don't believe that just because a child participates that everyone gets an award. No, sometimes you have to learn there are winners and there are losers. Or we raise a generation where people can't accept no, where people become violent because they hear the word no, where people are walking in jealousy because someone got an award or someone, they attained a higher level of whatever, but you didn't put in the work, right?
Exactly.
But we're training children to become those adults. because I showed up. I should be awarded because I showed up.
Exactly.
Get a prize. No, you shouldn't. Did you work hard? Did you really invest? Did you study? Did you do the things? So I'm sensing this. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have any kids right now. My child is 31. Okay. But I'm sensing this level of societal shift where, oh, it's okay, Bobby. Whatever. If you didn't do it, you don't have to do the homework. So what the teacher told you, you don't have to. Oh no.
Yeah.
Bobby comes home. My teacher told me I couldn't go to the bathroom. Well, did you tell your mother that you had gone twice already?
Of course not.
Mom is coming to the school, going off on the teacher. It's like,
That's
I don't listen. Accept this as a bow to both of you because I couldn't do it. I promise you, the way Michelle is wired, I could not do it. Like, society has shifted so desperately where, how do you work with these parents? How do you,
by the grace of God, baby.
We actually have to use gentle parenting.
You do for them.
Oh,
yes.
Because they come in on like having tantrums. But and in front of their children.
Yes, they do.
They will have a whole tantrum and cursing and saying what they not gonna do. I'm gonna beat this one.
Yeah.
So
you do have some of those as well.
The changes in the parenting, this is my opinion, right? My opinion is that we need both gentle parenting and discipline, right? And it just depends on the child. Everybody does not need gentle parenting. Because little Bobby can need gentle parenting, but little TT probably do need to get popped on their leg, at home, not in the classroom.
That's right.
Okay. But if there is no fear of discipline, right, and you have a child that is always misbehaving, how do you expect for us in the classroom to have great classroom management and to really get your child to listen if they're not listening to you? What do you do at home? And that's what we ask the parent. We ask the parent when there are issues. If we've done everything, I have a clip chart. They have to clip themselves down. If they get all the way down to red, there's a parent contact. So if I'm always contacting a parent, and the parent knows about this behavior that's happening in the classroom, and the child comes back the next day and does X, Y, and Z and continues to do things, what are you doing at home?
Exactly.
Right. And if you tell me that, oh, I don't do anything at home.
Exactly. What do you want?
Then guess what I'm going to do in the classroom? Nothing. I'm going to continue to clip your child down. And if I call you, your child is not going to recess because I'm calling you. All I'm going to do is what I can do. There's no recess. I know that all of them love gym. So you're not going to gym if it's on a Monday. If you misbehave like today. And it's crazy because I made a face when you said you get something for nothing. Well, actually, or for showing up. We have to do something for those showing up for attendance purposes.
Yes.
Right. So if you came to school every day this week, you were able to jump in our bouncy house that we have.
So wait, please.
We're rewarding attendance because attendance has been down since COVID.
Brings money.
Wait a minute.
School, so that's another reason why that happens.
Remember, this is Auntie talking. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a different school of thought here. Yes, we would, back in my day, you got perfect attendance awards or whatever. But also, if you were disruptive in the class, if you were, I think before me, there were demerits and all these other things, but you didn't get awarded just because you were there. Like the concept of, oh my gosh, I don't know why this is such a tough, because these are the adults we're raising. This is why is the way that it is. This is why boys can't hear a girl say no without hurting her. This is what I mean, it's connected to so many things, right?
It is.
They're not used to rejection. They're not used to not
it's
hearing
healthy
no.
need.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons, yes.
Balance.
And they missing that piece. That's
Yes,
so
they
true.
are.
Yeah, and I'm not, again, I don't advocate, I don't believe that discipline equates to abuse. Absolutely not. And discipline is not always physical. I believed with my daughter I used to call it corner time. The corner duty, when she knew, okay, you cutting up, and I've told you twice, third time, you in the corner. I don't want to hear anything. There better not be any talking, any whimpering, and anything. You just face that corner, because I knew my child. And I knew she was so social. She wanted to be in the middle of everything. So if you removed her, that was true punishment for her. Being in a corner when everybody else is talking and whatever, that was like, oh, I'm dying, please help me, but that took a level of me learning my child, right? And that was serious discipline for her. I didn't have to spank her a lot, but so when I say discipline, I don't even mean, now you spank your child if you want to, whatever, but I'm not talking about physical only. I'm talking teaching children accountability.
Exactly. That's
teaching them how to self-govern, teaching them there are going to be rules. I don't care if you are an influencer. You're still going to have rules, even if you're an influencer, content creator. There are still rules that you have to abide by everywhere on this earth. Yeah. So now it's like we're in this situation, this generation of what comes up comes out of the child's mouth. Kids are cussing teachers, cussing the parents. And it's like, what is happening?
At them, laughing at them,
calling them out their names, all of that. Oh, yeah.
The world is on fire. And then the parent has, a camera in front of the child recording the child cursing. And I'm like, how is that cute?
And it's crazy.
What's cute about that? What is cute? You're raising a disruptive person.
Yes,
this
you
is
are
going to be an adult. This is going to be an adult that doesn't know how to be accountable for their actions. This is going to be an adult that kicks against every rule and ends up with the consequences, right? Which can be jail or death or all these. There are consequences. And I'm sorry, y'all, old lady talking, but listen. We are approaching the end, and I want Candice, you to tell us how people can get in touch with you, but also I literally want to applaud you, ladies, seriously, because I know I couldn't do it. I thank you for your service, both of you. I thank you for inputting and pouring into the children of the future. I thank you for your grace in doing so. I thank you for your leadership abilities, and this is not fake. It is not. I know my capacity. I would be locked up right now. So thank you, seriously, because this is a serious role. Like you're pouring into the future generation. And it's like, I wish the parents would be more in partnership with you all.
Yeah.
So I believe in prayer. I'm going to be praying harder, longer, faster, whatever I need to do.
But I'm going to be praying, because this is the thing, Candice, there are not a lot of businesses that are seeking to connect the home and the school together.
Yes.
Right. And so people don't understand the only way that the educational system will change, and I said this years ago, is that there must be whole home, whole parent, whole school, whole family education. That is the only way that it's going to change. And so can you tell us how people can reach you in order to take part of your services?
Yes, I am. I am definitely on Instagram at eduk8_educational_coaching. I am on Twitter, I_eduk_8. So that is I_eduk_8. Unfortunately, I had to change my name around, but it works.
Okay, so let me remove that.
It's like, oh, I'm here, I'm there. But on Facebook, I am Educate, that's EDUK8 Coaching Services. And on TikTok, I am where they at? Sorry. I'm getting that for you all too, because I have to definitely check. I am IDUK_8 on TikTok.
So it's not IED?
Oh, it is IE. Sorry.
Okay, good. That's okay. It's on the screen. Okay.
IE.
Okay. Okay, good, good, good.
Thank you. So
No, good. It's
embarrassing.
on the
No.
screen. It's okay. Oh, Candice, we have enjoyed you. I know it seemed dramatic with me applauding, but I mean it so much. You know, the older you get, the more you're focused on the world, the earth, and what you're leaving and your legacy and all the things, but also the condition of the world, right?
Yes.
Are we leaving it better than we found it? And to have individuals who are committed to pouring into leaving the earth better than they found it, such as teachers should be applauded every day. And all parents should be willing to work with good teachers, teachers who have committed to serving, educating, rearing and guiding their children, right? Because it'll impact the child's life and determine what kind of adults we're dispatching into the world. So I appreciate you, Ash. I'm going to leave you with the ending because this is
no.
also. But no, Candice, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
I was so excited to ask Candice to come. And you guys go ahead and follow all of her socials. And if your child needs help, this is the person, right, to go and see. So we thank you guys for tuning in to the Hey Aunty Ash podcast. You can follow me at I am Ash Chanel on Instagram. You can follow me at Notes with Ash on YouTube. You can follow me at Ash Chanel on Facebook. I think that's pretty much it for me. And then you can also follow Auntie Michelle at Out of My Shell The Voice on Instagram, Coach Michelle Jackson on Facebook, Out of My Shell The Voice on YouTube. And don't forget to go and pick up The Surgery by Ashley Johnson Wicks Me and When She Flipped by Michelle Jackson, aka Auntie Michelle.
Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.